How you doing, Chris?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. So obviously you had a tremendous season last year. What was it like when you went into the transfer portal? A bunch of schools hitting you, like, and how did you end up with Florida State?
I mean, it was a rough process starting off, but I mean, that's the game now with the transfer portal. Um, I felt like Florida State was home, and Coach Ernie Sims, he's a legend here. We built a great relationship, and you know, that's really the main reason I came here. Coach Ernie Sims and Coach Norvell and that relationship we built over the whole recruiting process, and it landed me here at Florida State, and I'm ready.
Do you think linebackers like you that had so many big numbers and a ton of tackles, is it like an innate, like almost you're born with the ability to make plays like that? How much is it is like film work, and how much of it is you just have a feel to get by blockers and make plays?
I feel like it's a mixture of both. I mean, I've always had a knack for the ball, trying to get to the ball. Uh, I tried to play running back growing up, but I just feel like with my style of play, I want to get to that ball and make a play. And I'm very physical, so that's always been my go-to as a linebacker is just having that knack for the ball and just wanting to get there.
Touched on it a little bit, the recruiting process in the transfer portal, just compared to your first one out of high school, the options expanded for you. You got to prove yourself at the college level. What was the difference, I guess, in terms, other than just speed? I know it moves fast in the portal, but just to have that many schools knocking on your door.
It most definitely was different because, coming out of high school, like you said, a lot of schools wanted me to prove myself. So I did go to a group of five school. Um, I mean, it was different. You feel good. Like you work for something so long, and then you finally get there. So, yeah, that most definitely was a different feeling. And it was just a lot of busyness. Talking to a bunch of coaches. Every day for like every minute a new phone call was coming in. So yeah, it was definitely different in that aspect.
Chris, you touched on Ernie Sims, and we've heard a couple of guys talk about just the presence that he brings. Obviously, I hadn't played here, but as a coach, what about it is so special about him?
The mentality he brings every day. As soon as you walk into the position room, you see focus of the day, and it has a different word every day. And that's kind of something I write down every day. It's a new focus of the day. And he just have different things every day, and that just shows his mentality as a coach. He want to see you be better. He's going to push you to your limit. Every time we doing tour duty, he'll come up to me. He going to say, "I'm going to test your will today." He want to make sure you get uncomfortable. And that's really the big thing is since I've been here, I've been uncomfortable learning new things, and just it's a bigger process, it's a different process at a bigger school, and that's what he's trying to get me to understand and get me to do.
What stood out to you so far about kind of learning Coach White's scheme? I know there's multiple linebacker roles. What do you see yourself, in that scheme?
I'm trying to learn both positions, the Mike and the Will. I'm a sideline backer, so I feel like they're gonna put me in positions to make plays in that aspect, and I can do both things. I'm not gonna limit myself just learning one position. I'm gonna learn both. And Coach White has a great scheme. It allows the linebackers to run the sideline, and make plays, and that's what I do best. So.
You talked about Ernie, and he looks like he could still play probably. And I know when we see him at practice sometimes, he gets out there and he's wearing cleats. He's out there. Like, have you been around like in tour of duty and stuff like that? Like, what's it like to have a coach that's that active and that into it?
Like I said, it makes you want to just push yourself. He gonna come up to me. He gonna say, "I'm gonna test your will today. I'm gonna see if you really want it." And I'm gonna tell him back. I'm like, "Okay, do that." Like I want to see you push me as a coach, like you said you was gonna do in the recruiting process, and he done that so far. Like past what I thought he was gonna do. He comes up to me, and outside of tour duty, we talk and we joke, and but when we're on that field, it's straight business, and he pushes me to my limit.
How much? No disrespect to any other coaches you've had, but Ernie was a first-round pick at your position, and he's built. I mean, he's kind of built like you, honestly. Like, how much does that help? Just the trust, knowing that this dude not only knows what it looks like, but was it,
Right.
and what he's trying to give you as a coach.
Right, and like you said, there's no disrespect to no other coach, but you always want to have a coach that's been there before, and where he's been is where I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to be a first-round pick. I'm trying to be one of the best linebackers in the country, and he's done all that. You know, he's had over 100 tackles in the league, you know, his rookie year. You know, it's just things like that you want to be able to accomplish, and it's hard to do that with coaches who haven't done that because they're speaking from, you know, somewhere they haven't been, even though they know ball. But Coach Sims, he knows ball. He's been there before, so of course he's going to know what it takes to get me there, and that's what he's doing.
Chris, high school football in Mississippi, I know there was like a pecking order in the Jackson area about like the private schools that were better, like Jackson Prep or Jackson Academy. I know you went to Hartfield.
Right.
Just with the reputation that has in the state of Mississippi, like people, you know, it's not maybe big boy football. Then you're at Southern Miss, and there might be some sort of, you know, way people feel about that. How much of what you do, your motivation, is proving people wrong, showing that you belong on a bigger, better stage?
Yes, sir. I'm glad you said that. I'm a real Mississippi guy. I'm from Mississippi, and that's what I rep. And it's some talent down there in Mississippi. You know, we don't get the looks we want coming out of high school a lot. And, you know, I went to a small private school out of Hartfield. But it's so much talent down there that people don't really see because we don't have that big spotlight on us. And, you know, it really motivates me every day because there's plenty of kids who can be where I'm at right now from Mississippi that's not here only because of opportunity. And I'm going to show why Mississippi should be on the map here at Florida State.
Following up on that, high school football in Mississippi, and then first couple years of college, Mississippi, you had a chance to play Power 4 in Mississippi as well. What was it tough to leave? And I guess what were some of the motivations beyond the relationship with Coach Norvell and Ernie for going and leaving?
Yeah, that's a good question. Ole Miss was where I was previously committed to go to, and you know, Patrick Willis was my role model growing up. Just watching him play his old highlights and stuff, you can always, you know, see me. I texted him before, I even talked to him before, you know. So that was really my motivation into committed there. But as far as finding the right school, right scheme, this was the place to be, and there was no doubt in my mind I was coming to Florida State.
When did you start working out? Like, how do you look like that? Do you have a dad or somebody in your life that was really hard on you, getting you in the gym
People
early?
don't even know this. I'm 19 years old. Everybody think I'm older than that. I'm 19. So yeah, my pops, he had me working out in 7th grade. You know, we worked out from me and my friends EJ and Antonio and a lot of more guys. We worked out from 7th grade all the way into senior year, and it kind of put me over the edge with some guys. You know, even though I wasn't the tallest or the biggest, but I've always had that edge with strength and speed, and that's what my dad tried to get me to understand growing up, and it shows now when I'm going against other guys my age. I can tell I got an edge over a lot of guys because of that.
Coach White, he played linebacker. He's been around linebackers too. What in terms of a scheme and things like that? Like, what have you liked about what you've heard from him?
He's trying to make me a versatile linebacker, and that's what I like. Coach Sims, like I said, Coach Sims, he doesn't want me to just learn one position. He wants me to learn both. And with his defense, like I said, it allows you to run sideline to sideline, and they got a lot of good packages for not just in the box, but outside of the box too. And he can put me a Jack, he can put me a Mike, he can put me a Will. Just give me a chance to be all over the field and make plays. And I feel like that's big with this year, especially going into my true junior year, trying to get on the field and make a lot of plays and do what I can for this defense.
To follow up, so you're 19. How did that work to where you're that far, I guess, behind age group, right? Is that ahead? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got a late birthday. My birthday is July 23rd, so I'm in my right class. I could have got held back, you know, when I got to private school my sophomore year, but it was too late. You know, in Mississippi, you got to get held back before your freshman year. So I'm in my right. I'm a true sophomore right now, going into my junior year, but I'm probably one of the youngest.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. It makes sense.
Right.
Now that you're here, like, what are your goals? Like, what do you want to accomplish at your time here at Florida State?
One of my goals is really to just be one of those first round draft picks like Coach Sims. I want to create a lot of value for myself here at Florida State, and I know I can do that. That just comes with, trusting the timing, trusting the process with this. I mean, it doesn't come easy. I'm just, making this big transition here at Florida State coming from another school. So it doesn't come easy, but that's most definitely one of my biggest goals, being a first-round pick, trying to get out early. And if that doesn't work, cool. We're going to keep working, keep grinding. But those goals, Coach Sims knew that when I came in, and he's on a mission to help me get there.
When it comes to defensive football, I feel like so much focuses on, can you be a cover corner? Can you be an edge rusher? Where is the role of a linebacker in your mind when it comes to playing defensive football, and how it fits into, I guess, what Coach White wants to do and how that works for you?
It's a lot of roles, especially in this defense. But me, especially, I want to be the field general and kind of come in and, take over and really know everyone's jobs, because that's really the biggest thing. If you know everyone else's job, it makes your job easier. So that's really the big thing with me. And as a linebacker, you should really know everyone's job on the field and be, that Luke Kuechly, Ray Lewis type of guy, and, fly around the field. And I feel like that's what I'm big on right now, getting in the VR room, getting the film room, and really just trying to learn my job especially, but learn everyone else's job as well.
What's it been like getting to know, the linebackers that were already here, and then you get Makai's coming in also, and a couple other guys coming in? Like, what's that group been like so far?
It's been fun. A lot of those guys, they're real cool. We're very competitive though, and that's what I like. And it can be the smallest thing. Trying to get in the room, be the first guy to get in the meetings early, things like that. And we just out there competing the other day, racing while we're doing sprints, and that's kind of what I want to bring to the room. Being that competitive guy that make everyone want to push themselves. And if you can bring that in the room, and that's just going to spread all over the team, not just the linebacker room, but, the whole defense and eventually the whole team. And that's just going to bring us good work on Saturdays, everyone being ready to play, everyone being very competitive, ready to, do what they got to do.
You mentioned the film room, the VR room. I mean, the technology and the resources that you have available to you here, especially when what you guys can do right now is so limited from a game planning standpoint, a practice standpoint. I mean, how valuable is that when you're still trying to come up to speed at a new place?
It's very valuable. You talk about that because, I was at Southern Miss last year, and then no knock to a Group of 5 program, but that's where I came from. And we didn't have those things. And, I had a transition with a different coach after my freshman year last year, and it was hard trying to learn that defense. But here, I feel like it makes it easier, most definitely having those, those things like the VR room, getting the VR room with the other backers, and you can see what you're learning, on a screen. So it makes it way easier, and that's the type of technology you want out of big P4 program. That's why you come here, to get the most valuable thing.
You mentioned Patrick Willis, Luke Kuechly, Ray Lewis. You knew how many tackles Coach Sims had as a rookie. How much research are you doing into the linebackers? And I guess how do you know all that stuff, man? It's pretty cool.
I'm a student of the game, and that's what I try to be, a student of the game, and just watch different guys. Coach Sims, he actually making cut-ups right now of different backers for us to watch, like Roquan Smith and Fred Warner, and some of the best backers in the game. Because even though you're good, you always want to watch the best of the best, and see what they're doing, so you can add it to your game as well.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.